Good afternoon. Welcome to today's presentation. We want to look at Introduction to Research Methods, Lesson 1. I'm Patrick Nyakundi. I'm a lecturer at Department of Food and Beverage at Kabune Technical Training Institute. As we know, research is very important in all aspects of life, especially for students in your academics, as well as professions in their work. They would need it to solve many problems. So basically, at the end of this unit, you should be able to define some terminologies. You should be able to highlight the importance of research. You should be able also to describe the types of research that exist. Welcome. So let's start with the definitions of terminology. And the first term that you want to look at is research. So research, to me, I simply put it, is moving from what you know to unknown niche, unknown. So let's say you are moving to a certain destination, you want to make to a certain appointment, and that you are located at point A. However, where your appointment is point B. So since you don't know this locality, you probably would use Google Maps and find out the direction to this point, and you'll be guided. So that process of getting from point A all the way to point B, you are doing a research and you are solving a problem of not knowing point B. So basically, research is moving from a point of knowing to a point of not knowing. It is a systematic process, which means it begins from a certain point, following step 1, 2, 3, and so forth to the very end. So it begins from it follows a certain sequence of events. The second terminology you want to look at is population. Population is a whole set or entire group of individuals who have common observable characteristics. For example, you want to do a study amongst high school children, high school students. So high school students is already a population since they are in the same classes. That means that you are not going to study a student who is in primary or beyond high school. So observable characteristic is being high school. That is observable characteristic. Okay, the third terminology that you want to look at is study sample. So a study sample is a subset and it represents the whole population. So since it is impractical to usually use the entire population in your study, you're going to use a sample. You're going to get a segment of it that you're able to utilize to tell you or give you an idea about the entire population. So if, for example, Kenyans, we are told we have 47 point something million people, and you want to do a survey to understand what Kenyans usually eat in the evenings. So it is impractical actually to involve all these people in your study. You are going to pick maybe 10% of them, and even this one you are going to do regional selection. You're not going to select all regions, but rather you are going to select some regions that are representative of the entire face of Kenya. So that is a sample. It is a sample. Another terminology that you want to look at is data. Data is information gathered for a study by a researcher for his own study. So it can be primary data. It can be primary data primary data, secondary data. It can also be discrete, it can be continuous. So there are different types of data which a researcher will collect from the field. Lastly, we want to look at variable. Variable is a measurable characteristic that assumes different values among subjects. For example, you are a nutritionist and you are doing nutrition assessment. Amongst under 5 children. So one of the aspects that you're going to measure is their height. So these children are going, if you're going to weigh to take the length of 10 children, they are going to have different values of their heights, and that's why we are saying a variable assumes different values in a sample. Okay, so let's move on to importance of research. First importance is that research brings about scientific and inductive thinking, and it promotes the development of logical habits of thinking and organization. So basically, as we said, it is systematic. You're moving from step 1 all the way to the last step. So there's a kind of organization that is there. And also logics, there's a lot of reasoning that you're going to apply at each step of the process that enriches your logical habits of researchers. Secondly, it provides basis for nearly all government policies in our economic system. Actually, the reason why we have government policies is because there was a need, and this need was discovered through research, and research now came up with solutions which are government policies that will ensure some needs of citizens are addressed by government policies to address economic issues. Also, it is used in solving various operational and planning problems in various fields. So, for example, you have operational problems. You have some operations in an organization. So, and problems are bound to happen. So, whenever problems occurs in the course of operation of a certain organization, there is need to do research to find out how do you solve that problem and what are the solutions to it. So that's why research solves such kind of challenges in our organization. Also in studying social relationship and seeking solutions to social problems. So it's through research that we can be able to solve social problems. For example, some studies, or it has come to the knowledge of Kenyans that people mostly drink alcohol towards the end of the month. So that one is already a social concern. So we can find out why are people taking it at the end of the month. Is it because they have money, or is it because there is laxity? So it can give us reasons, and it's through these reasons that we are able to channel efforts to address, so that we address such kind of challenges in our society. Okay, lastly, we have types of research. We have descriptive and analytical as types of research. As the name suggests, descriptive will give you a snapshot of the situation of things the way they are. So whereas analytical comes from the word analyze, where there's mostly comparison. There's comparison between point A and B. There's comparison between gender, men and women. There's comparison between children and adults. So when there's such kind of a comparison, it's already analytical in its nature. Also, you are comparing in terms of timelines. You're comparing now and before. that is already analytical study. So whenever you have a comparison of things in your study, that is analytical study. Then we have applied versus fundamental researches. Applied tends to solve immediate problems that are existing, whereas fundamentals is meant to fill the gaps that exist in the literature. Quantitative versus qualitative. Quantitative mostly is meant to give you a description of things, of situation, phenomena, the way they are, and most of the time it quantifies in terms of using such methods as questionnaires, whereas qualitative most of the time tends to explain the description given by descriptive statistics. So for example, you want to know how many students are there in TVET institutions. So you come up with Kabune has got 3,000 students. Meru Polytechnics has got 6,000 students. Now when you want to explain why Kabune has got 3,000 and Meru Polytechnic has got 6,000, it becomes qualitative because you are giving explanation of existing phenomena. Lastly, ladies and gentlemen, we've got conceptual and empirical researches. Conceptual researches tends to give you new ideas. They bring new ideas on board, and they are basically abstract ideas, whereas empirical researches are meant, they are those which are based on experiences of experts and also observations in the field. So we've looked at importance of research and types of research. Thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed the class. Bye.